Hi, my name is Maria Pontes. I'm a working HR professional and a transformational coach. On the podcast today, I have Sylvester Ryan Pontes. I would like to introduce him. He is he has completed his BMS from Burani College, pursued his higher studies in hotel management in Singapore, currently working for Aranka. He is a compere for corporates, weddings, and social gatherings. And last but not the least, he's an author of a book, The Stage is Yours, Exploit Your Potential. May I now welcome Sylvester Ryan Pontes. Hi, Sylvester.
Oh, good evening. I forgot.
Good evening.
I forgot about the social
No problem.
Yeah.
So, welcome to this podcast, Sylvester.
Thank you very much for having me here.
So, friends, I will be switching on off between Sylvester and Ryan. I've known him more of Ryan during my interactions with him. So, Sylvester, tell me, I saw you wearing this t-shirt and suddenly I realized I was missing office today because a t-shirt and jeans reminds me of a weekend where we wear, casual clothes at office. Because till yesterday, I was telling my colleagues at office saying, I'm not missing office. But when I saw Sylvester with this dress, I missed my office a little.
In fact, I was thinking to come in a formal attire, but then since it's Friday, it's the weekend, and since I'm not wearing this at office, I said might as well come here with this.
Great, yeah, fantastic. So happy to see you.
Thank you very much.
And friends, Sylvester for me is equal to naughty and up to some tricks. You will see this a little later as we go along. So, Sylvester, tell me, career-wise, what are you up to these days?
So I'm currently working with this company called Aranka, and I'm into sales. The thing that I love the best, in fact, because there's nothing beyond sales that I can do, is what I believe. And it's been like a good journey with them. I've been with them for the past 3.5 years now.
Wow.
And I just love it each day of working in that place.
Great. So, in this fast-paced world, at least 2 months back, it's very challenging to pursue a passion along with profession.
Right.
So, how were you able to pursue your passion, that is comparing, along with your profession, that is business development?
So it's usually a little difficult to choose two paths in life, in fact. But what I realized is that if anyone loves a particular thing to do, he would find a way.
Okay.
Like I love my job. I love sales because
Really?
that's the only thing that I can do. I am so proud to call myself a sales guy. But when I discovered this part of my life as well, and I wanted to do both. So I didn't want to do one thing. I like doing multiple things. When I was so passionate, I really decided that this is something that I can do and it comes to me naturally. So I have to find a way to it. And then I realized that if you have the will, you will find a way. And only the ones who are determined can actually have the courage to go that path. And that's where I decided to do both things.
I mean, hats off to you because I found it very difficult initially, but that's good to hear from you of how you are managing this path. And as I introduced you, I found that you're a compare. Yeah. So, what tickled you to become a compare, and how did it start?
So, if I track down my memory lane, I would say that I was always on the stage since I was a kid. Let it be participating in schools, dramas, and singing competitions, and all these other competitions. And I would do fairly well in all these things. And when I was 16, I came across 16 or 17, I believe. I came across a wedding which I get crashed for food. So, and I came across this particular person who would actually take charge of the crowd. He was an MC and he would crack jokes. And at that time I would say like humorous jokes, in fact, at the moment. And something about that really stuck with me.
Okay.
And I tried my level best to get into this when you're 17, because people, my friends knew that I was always on the stage singing and stuff, and this was an additional kind of skill to that. But nobody believed me, because nobody would want a 17-year-old guy who would look like a pack of bones to be on stage.
Okay.
And luckily, what happened is that a few years passed by. I would practice at home, looking into the mirror and deliver
Okay.
dialogues, and just assuming that there would be a crowd.
Okay.
But when I was 19 and my friend was getting married, and I was fortunate to be the best man.
Oh.
This was a monsoon wedding, and this was like 10 years ago, 11 years ago, in fact. So that I was 19. So what happened is that I was the best man, and it was a monsoon wedding, and it rained. So 2 days prior to that, the compere who was about to host the wedding said that he wouldn't be able to kind of make it there. And and the whole house, was in a panic. And my friend came to me and said, why don't you do this? In fact, now in my heart I was happy,
Yes.
honestly, but I was very sad also, that because the bridesmaid was very pretty.
Oh.
And I didn't want her to go ahead and do that. But the best part out of that was, I got the suit and the shoes to keep.
Okay.
And that's how I started my MC journey. I did that wedding, and I was shocked to receive 2 inquiries for the coming months.
Really?
Yeah, and that's when I said, okay, I have started this. And I was the best. What I learned out of it is that, it's always good to be prepared for an opportunity and not have it.
I was about to say that, because very often, we opportunities come our way, and it's the choice that we make whether we should take it or not.
Right.
And be it whatever be the consequences, good or bad,
Uh,
you make it.
because I remember that was that one moment that I had to take action, and if I would have said no, I would have never ever got into this field.
Absolutely.
So I'm very grateful to that, yes, and my friend having faith. I don't know, he still has faith on me on this, but I walked and moved along a long journey from that path, in fact.
I mean, that would have been your first and the last
Yeah.
lesson that you would have learned all your
Right,
life.
Right.
Okay. So I have another question for you.
Yeah.
I have seen that you compare on weekends most of the time.
Right.
Yeah. And in personally, and for most of us, we always do not want to move out of the house on weekends.
Mhm.
I mean, and you take comparing events on, and mostly they're all on weekends.
Right.
I mean, hats off to you. You travel like from Vasai to Kalyan, and it's something. I know there are times you have even traveled to Goa for a wedding.
Right.
So, what makes you do this and you don't get tired? Like, I would never want to travel outside my area,
Right.
my home area, go anywhere on the weekend. What makes you do that?
So one thing in the early part of my career that I learned into sales is that I love being in front of a lot of people. So in sales, is that I speak to new people every day. This somehow gave me the exposure to being in front of different people at different events. So the playing ground is different every time.
Yes.
So that really excites me to go ahead. And then, I mean, since I love to entertain people, I don't mind where the crowd comes from. I just go in there and start. So that's about me. Yes, I could do it in places which are closer to my house. But the very fact of traveling being a part of my daily routine, it really doesn't bother me, because whenever I plan to host, let it be in a crowd which is very far out from my house, I feel great that those people have trusted me
Yes,
to come down to that location, in fact. And that's a real important thing for me. And all that I know is that respect them, and I have to deliver just for their entertainment, in fact. So that really motivates me when people from different places call me and say, man, could you just be a part of our evening? And that is how relationships are built and we become family.
So that the meaning in doing this, comparing itself gives you a satisfaction. So,
Right.
So the extra effort and the weekend then does not take.
That's not even, it actually, the way you can impact people through your gift really makes that difference to me, in fact. And that's why I'm really grateful to being in this, and that's why I do it.
Wow. Friends, the other thing about Sylvester is he's learned and earned,
Right.
and at a very young age, he's worked very hard. So, friends, I would like you to make a note. Take a piece of paper, pen, your mobile, make your notes. I want to let the cat out of the bag. So, Sylvester, tell me,
Hmm.
what made you, earn and learn at the same time at such a young age? Why did you have to work so hard?
So I remember once I was 16, 17. I always wanted to have money with me. Okay, I wanted to handle my own expenses. Like it could be like buying a phone, going to a mall or something, and my pocket money wasn't going ahead and helping me out. So I took the route of working in a BPO, and I landed up into a BPO which was into sales. so,
Okay.
and that's where I enhanced and grew my journey into sales. In fact, so working, and I did recognize the importance of education as well. So I didn't want to kind of let go of my education path, in fact, and just make the money, in fact. So that was one reason why, to support my needs, let it be my educational needs as well. So I had to work nights, and I would go to college in the morning. So from there, I mean, I would say like every part of your journey in life makes you stronger and teaches you and builds you for the future. This is something that I could actually I would say, like, that I capitalized on was when I graduated, and when I saw the difference wherein my friends were looking out for a job. I had already 3 years of experience
Wow.
bagging by me, because from the 18 till I graduated, in fact, and that really worked for me, because companies were ready to hire people who had some experience into working and sales. Like they would, like, jump on you like a hound. So that's where I believe that this part of my life also really helped me in wherever I am today. And if anybody wants to take the journey of that, I would say, like, do not sacrifice on your education.
Yes.
But yes, use this is a path that you can go through as well.
Wonderful. So, friends, I hope you've got some lovely tips from Sylvester on this part. I've observed another thing about you. I was, viewing your YouTube channels, and you have, you have been very, you have pursued your passion, that is comparing, and profession, that is business development, both professionally and personally. Um, so, and you have, and you are actually along with the likes of Grant Cardin and Les Brown virtually.
Right.
So, what is it that has, taken you through your learnings, your journey with them? How
Um,
has it helped you?
so I would say, like, uh, these two people, like Les Brown and Grant Cardone. Like, Les Brown is one of the top five motivational speakers, globally known, in fact. He just helped me. I mean, I would watch a lot of videos, because while I was 21, I was young, wild, and hungry. I would say, like,
Yes, the way he says.
yeah,
Yes.
hungry for success. And whatever he spoke, it really resonated with me. So when I was 21, he told, I mean, it was the right part for me to go ahead and figure out a vision board for myself and really motivate myself, in fact. So, I mean, that's how I actually went ahead, and whatever he spoke was something that I would say, like, food for the hungry. And that's why. And when it came to sales, I must say that Grant Cardone has been a guy who has shifted my mindset from doing anything to achieving whatever you want, in fact. So, and he's taught, I mean, whatever I'm into sales, I would say, like, I've learned sales, but I've also developed my skill at sales was through through watching Grant Cardone and his videos, in fact. And what really motivated me was these two always saying, leave an imprint in people's mind by going ahead and writing a book about your experiences, your story, what were your learnings, and how you actually use them to come up, in fact.
Lovely.
Because you never know through your words whose mind you can spark. and make that difference, because you can't make a difference in everybody's lives.
True.
But your words will fall onto those young minds who will kind of make the change as well. So that's how I ended up writing a book as well.
Oh, very good. And that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, at this age also to write a book, I know a lot of younger children also have written books. I've seen some of those. So very good. I have a last question for you. One or two takeaways for the youth watching, listening to you. That includes me as well. One or two takeaways, if you could give us.
So the first thing is that just believe that whatever you want in life, it is possible to get it. The first step is believing, the next step is achieving. So if you believe and you have that mindset in your mind, that's it. That's where you win the first game, because major battles are won here. And if you actually conquer this, then you can conquer anything. And one other thing that I usually tell people, in fact, who have dreams, in fact, is that, share dreams with people who will be like, one or two steps higher than you, someone who is an idol. Because if you share your visions with people who don't have visions themselves, it will become very difficult to go ahead and take a decision, because they will only influence you negatively. So in order to be with people who can actually influence you to be better, they need to be way better than you. So I always look up to people who would be like, doing much better than me in life, because from their advice is much better than an advice that I would take from someone who has not done anything in life. So these things, change your belief by thinking that everything is possible, and this is the second advice. In fact, that will help you a way. And yeah, just continue doing and helping others. That is one other way that you can actually help
True.
yourself.
Absolutely. Well said. So thank you, Sylvester. It was a pleasure having you on this podcast today.
Same here.
And thank you once again for coming. All the best.
Thank you.
And we'll be in touch.
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me here.